Good morning, Starshine. This is Smadar, and I'm recording this for my layering light community, but I feel like it could benefit my other communities too. And for those of you who don't know, I have three different communities. One is my crystal community. That's the one I started with many, many years ago. The other is my healing community, layering light. And I also create guided journeys and soul circles and other explorations into the mystical and I guess they're always about empowerment. So that one is Simbaya. So you might know me through all of them or just one, but I'm mentioning all three of you because what I want to talk to you about today, and this happens, I guess, sometimes with some of the topics, is that they cross through all the different creations that I have. So today I wanted to talk to you about pain. And what sparked this was last night, I was preparing for a dream share circle that I have recently just opened up. And it's where you come together in circle with other women and discover the messages that dreams hold through sharing and exploring together. And it's really powerful. It's very simple, but it's really powerful, and that's the way it is with most things. Simple things can hold so much power, and we don't often realize that, and we go out looking for the complicated stuff. We have most often all the tools that we need right there inside of us. So a couple of hours before I had to guide this dream journey, I had a migraine. It came on really suddenly, and I don't know the source of the migraine. My sense is that my husband had gone to the dentist that day, and he came home with a lot of chemicals that had still been clinging to him. Now, with the pandemic, there's extra precautions being taken to protect the practitioners and the patients alike. So they're using a lot of chemicals and stuff. So that could have been the reason. It could have been the weather. It could have been an earthquake happening somewhere. It could have been a lot of things. But really, in the moment, it doesn't matter. What matters is moving out of it as quickly as possible, and with the least amount of suffering. And I used to suffer quite powerfully from migraines, and most of you who are in this community will at least have somewhat of an awareness of migraines, if not a personal experience with them, because you guys are sensitive souls like I am, and I think, you know, we sensitive souls tend to experience a lot of the same physical things, and there's a reason for that. But so what I did, what I turned to, what I always turn to first is my star song. So I create the star songs. If you're in my crystal community, you'll probably have heard me speaking of them. If you're in my layering light community, you'll probably have heard me speaking of them. They are a mystical essence of water and crystal and other energetic elements that come together to infuse pure water with those energies, and somehow, in a very magical way, this water transforms and becomes a healing elixir. And it works over distance. I create star songs on my end for my clients all the time, and then on their end they experience the results, often immediately. And of course, even if it seems to be about the momentary pain or what we're going through at the time, there's always a ripple effect that happens. The star songs touch us on a very deep level, and things that we can't even imagine begin to happen, because it's about awakening, and awakening creates powerful transformation. So that's the first thing I did when I felt the migraine coming on. I reached for my star song and I spritzed it around me. There's other ways to connect to the star song, and if you are interested at all in them, you can just connect with me anytime and ask me questions, and there's lots of information on my websites about the star songs. And there's lots of testimonials from people who have experienced the power of these star songs, really in magical ways. So that's one way. Now, if you don't have access to the star songs, I didn't always have access to the star songs, and I used to get, like I said, I used to get really severe migraines, you know, closing myself in my room, in a dark room, and not being able to move, and the nausea and the pain and the fear, because for me that's always the worst, the fear, because you're in the moment that you're in this experience, it feels like it will never end, and it is unpleasant, to say the least. So now, I don't get migraines the way I used to. They start and they stop pretty quickly, and they're also really, the intensity is not there. They're very mild. The symptoms come on very mildly. There are still migraine symptoms. The symptoms are the same. It's just the level of intensity is dialed all the way down. So maybe it would get more intense if I leave it. I don't think that it would, just from my sense and my knowing of it, but and that has to do with what I've done for myself over the years to empower myself, to transform myself, to listen to my body. There's a lot that went into there's a lot that went into me getting to the point right now where I don't experience pain and illness the way I used to. And that's another one of the things that I do with my Layering Light community is I show them all the things that I've done that have helped me get to this place, but I also listen to their needs and work with my clients, on a personal level with what they happen to need in the moment. And I also try to put out a lot of information on my website to empower people, and this is one of the reasons that I'm doing this video right now, is because I want you to know that you have a great deal of power over your well-being. And there's a lot that you can do to help yourself so that you don't have to go through and endure the suffering that inevitably comes on living this physical experience, this physical existence. So Starsongs are my first go-to, and usually within minutes I have already felt a transformation. And by the time my dream share circle began, I was fine. I was feeling well. Let me put it that way, because that's more specific. I was feeling well. There was no remnant of any pain or nausea or dizziness at all. So you might not have easy access to the Starsongs as I do. You can, because I can work with you with that. But in the meantime, let me give you another couple of ideas of how to manage a migraine when it's coming on. And a simple one is peppermint oil. Just open up a bottle of peppermint oil and put a drop in a diffuser or on a cotton ball or something. A piece of salt. I sometimes will use salt. I will use salt. Salt is another very magical, beautiful, abundant, readily available way of helping the body become stronger and healing the body when it needs. That's another subject. I talk about salt a lot, and you can go back to some of my past videos where I talk about salt and the power of salt. But yes, peppermint is a really good one. And then another one is crystals, of course. And the one that I was drawn to show you today is howlite. And howlite, you might not even have heard of it, because a lot of people don't know about howlite, which amazes me, because it's an abundant, inexpensive, beautiful, beautiful stone being. And when you look at it, not necessarily in this form, I probably should have grabbed a different one. This one's shaped like a heart. But usually they're round, and a lot of times in their natural form, even when they're tumbled, but in their natural form, they kind of have the shape of a brain. And I often tell people that stone's physical appearance and physical qualities often hint at their metaphysical properties and their healing properties. So this is a stone for the mind and for the head. So this is a good one to draw on when you are experiencing a migraine. Or actually, what I would recommend, if you are prone to migraines, I would work with this stone before a migraine comes on, like not while you're of course, bring it in if you're in the midst of one, but my suggestion would be work with it on a regular basis so that you can avoid migraines coming on, or that you can tap into its energy quite quickly when the migraine comes on. Because when you're in the midst of pain, it's very, very challenging to tap into your tools, because your focus is so taken by the pain. There's nothing like pain to focus a person's attention, and it's very hard to think about all the different things that you can do to help yourself in the moment. So it's to your benefit to connect with these healing modalities and resources and options before you are in intense pain. So those are the 3 things that I recommend. The peppermint is probably the easiest when you're in the midst of a migraine, because you don't have to think about it. You don't have to tune into your healer self. You just open it, and that's it. It can help a lot. And the sooner you get to it, the better. So as soon as you feel something coming on, don't wait till even your mind recognizes what's happening. Just get into that instinctive mode of reaching for your peppermint and going for it. And I just want to mention one thing when dealing with essential oils. Too much essential oils can bring on a headache, especially for those of us who are sensitive souls and empaths. Because we don't need a lot. We're very sensitive. We're tuned in. We just need a little bit. And then if it gets too much, it can overwhelm our systems. So my suggestion is either open the bottle and leave the bottle open for a few minutes and then close it up, or just open it up occasionally to take an inhale. Or if you're using a diffuser, I like to diffuse naturally, because then I have more control over how much I get. When you're using a diffuser that heats up the oil or disperses it, it's in the air and you can't take it out after. Whereas if you're taking a piece of salt or a stone or a cotton ball and putting a drop on there, that can easily be put into a sealed jar, which I recommend you have, a jar that has a lid. And then when you're done, you just close up the jar, and you'll know when you're done because it will no longer smell nice to you. It may even start to irritate you. But you'll learn as time goes on how much is enough so that you can avoid getting to the point of getting irritated or getting a headache from your essential oils. Again, I'm happy to speak to you guys about this personally and help you one-on-one to find the way that works best for you, to help yourself take back the power of your well-being. I really, really want that for you. I want you to know how much power you have over your wellness, over your well-being. There is so much you can do for yourself. And this is not what we're taught. We're taught to go to the doctor and to listen to what the doctor says. And a lot of times the stuff that the doctor has either doesn't work or makes us worse or long-term causes severe and serious side effects. So instead of waiting to the point of having to feel like you need to turn to allopathic medicine, work with yourself proactively on your wellness rather than waiting till you're not well and then trying to heal an illness. So that's what I came here to say to you guys. I'm sending out lots and lots of healing energy, transformational energy. I prefer that word, transformational, because really there's nothing to heal. It's really a matter of shifting consciousness. Once you get down to that, beneath all the physical stuff, the source of everything is all awareness. Always, always awareness. And this is what I want to help you get to. The awareness that you are a powerful, magical being who has a great deal of power over your well-being. So I'm sending you lots and lots of love and light, and wishing you a magical day.